Hi there, this is Homebody Rundown and I'm HR. I just completed a 6-week pantry challenge, so I decided to make a video sharing some of my thoughts about doing it, including some pros and cons. For me, a pantry challenge means trying to use up food items that we have in the house, whether that be in the pantry, refrigerators, or freezers. I did decide to still go to the grocery store for basics like dairy, produce, and eggs, and really any essentials that youngest child who still lives at home would want. We are a family of 5, but our 2 oldest kids were only at home during the first week of challenge, then they went back to college. So when I was making meals, I did not need a large quantity of ingredients because it was usually just for 3. I did not stock up on anything prior to Pantry Challenge, but I do try to keep quite a bit of food in the house, stock up on frequently used items when they're on sale. This is why a challenge is more practical for us because we do have that supply or stockpile of food in the home that needs to be cycled through. We still have plenty of food in the house after 6 weeks. I think a big positive for me doing a pantry challenge is that I really take stock of what we have. I looked through everything and had a good visual inventory of items that needed to get used up soon, and also items that I needed to be a bit creative with in order to use up. I know prior to Pantry Challenge and at the beginning of it, I definitely was relying more on convenience foods, but as it went on, I felt more creative and looked forward to making new things. So we ended up eating a wider variety of foods, which is another positive for us. However, making these more creative meals that are not based on as many convenience items takes more time. I am a stay-at-home mom, so I have the time to do this and spend in the kitchen, but if I had a lot of little kids or worked outside of the home, I don't think that I would do a pantry challenge, or at least not such a long one, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Another benefit was that I emptied out a lot of the small deep freezer, which needs to be defrosted, and then I'll have space for a bulk food order later this month. As for food, we did run out of multiple items and got pretty low on others like avocado oil. I kept a list of what I would consider more essential items that we ran out of. This list was helpful because it lets me be more aware of items that maybe I should keep a larger stock of in the home. And I did end up buying a lot of the essential items during challenge, like dairy and fruit, and also coffee, because I am a coffee drinker and suffering is not a part of pantry challenge for us. However, what I would consider non-essential foods like tortilla chips and marshmallows, I did not replace those during the 6 weeks. But I would understand that running out of certain comfort foods could be a huge con or negative of doing a pantry challenge. Sometimes you just really want chips and salsa, and I get that. At the end of pantry challenge, it's easier for me to see if I'm stocking up on the right items. This is more of an issue now that our boys are both out of the house the majority of the year at school. An example is I used to always have a large stash of peanut butters, but that's just not practical now. The 3 of us that are here won't get through it. Pantry Challenge also helps me prep my bulk food order from Azure Standard. I was planning to order more dried beans and lentils, for instance, but we did not get through them as quickly as I expected, especially since I'm making smaller quantities of food now. Another positive is that I don't have to go to the grocery store as often. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that I can go when I need to, but it's not my favorite thing. So a few weeks off, at least from big trips, is a bonus, especially here in Michigan in January and February when it can be pretty cold and snowy. However, this means I have to do a really big stock up after Pantry Challenge is done, so I could understand not wanting to have to deal with something like that. Overall, I do Pantry Challenge because I enjoy Pantry Challenge. I enjoy spending more time in the kitchen during winter when I can't be working outside in the garden. If I had a busier or more hectic schedule, I probably wouldn't bother, but for this season of life, it works really well for us and we get to eat usually pretty good food. Thanks for watching.